All right, welcome to The Explainer. So, is Marvel on the verge of collapse? That is the pretty explosive claim at the heart of a popular online critique called Marvel Cinematic Decline, a critical autopsy. Now, today, we're not here to debate if it's right or wrong. Instead, we're going to break down the specific arguments it makes, just to see how it builds its case.
So, this is the big one. This is the claim that really gets your attention, right? It's designed to be provocative. It takes Marvel's recent movie delays and frames them not as a strategic choice, but as a sign that the company is about to go under. This is a central idea we're going to be dissecting.
Okay, so just to be super clear, our goal here isn't to prove this theory right or wrong. Think of us as investigators. We're simply going to walk through the evidence the critique presents, piece by piece, to understand its logic.
So the critique kicks things off by establishing its core premise. It's basically arguing that what's happening with the Marvel Cinematic Universe isn't just a couple of bad movies, it's a full-blown diagnosed decline.
And this right here is the foundation for their entire argument. What we're seeing, according to this autopsy, isn't a series of unrelated box office flops. Nope. It's saying these are all interconnected symptoms of a much, much deeper problem. All right, so let's get into the first major symptom they identify in this autopsy: audience fatigue. The argument is pretty straightforward. After more than a decade of superhero dominance, maybe viewers are just over it. And to back this up, the critique goes straight to the numbers. It paints this really stark picture, comparing the absolute peak of 2019, the year of Avengers Endgame, to the much more, let's say, modest returns of the last couple of years.
And this chart really drives the point home. The critique presents data that seems to show a clear downward trend in audience review scores. So the argument isn't just about the money, it's about the love. It's saying that the fans themselves seem way less satisfied than they were at the franchise's peak.
Now, for the second major symptom presented in this autopsy, this one is all about streaming, and specifically the impact that Disney Plus has had on the whole Marvel brand. The source calls this the Disney Plus dilemma, and the theory goes something like this. By having this constant fire hose of Marvel shows on streaming, they've kind of accidentally trained the audience to just wait. Why rush to the theater when you know it'll be on your couch in a few weeks?
It really frames the debate like this. In the past, theatrical exclusivity made every Marvel movie a can't-miss cultural event. But now, according to the critique, we have streaming saturation. It makes each new release feel less special, less urgent, just another piece of content in a sea of content.
Okay, this next part's really interesting. The critique shifts gears a bit and goes into what it calls a quick-fire round, just rattling off a bunch of creative complaints that it says are all part of this decline.
So the source just lists them out, boom, boom, boom. First, what it calls bad writing and plots that don't really hold up. Second, an over-reliance on CGI that just looks kind of fake. And third, a belief that political messaging is starting to take priority over good characters and a solid story.
So what's the big takeaway here? According to the source, these creative choices are a sign of a fundamental shift. It's arguing that the franchise is moving away from those big, universally loved stories that built its fan base, and in the process, it's actually pushing that original audience away.
So after laying out all of these symptoms, you've got the audience fatigue, the streaming dilemma, and the creative issues. The source brings it all together for its final diagnosis.
And here's the final verdict, according to this autopsy. It concludes that 1. Superhero fatigue is a real thing. 2. The Disney Plus strategy has backfired and actually devalued the brand. And 3. That the creative focus on great storytelling has been lost. You put all those together and that forms the basis for the critique's very dramatic conclusion.
Which leaves us with a much bigger question to think about, doesn't it? Is a critique like this just the opinion of a few loud voices online? Or does it actually signal a real turning point? Not just for Marvel, but for the entire idea of a massive, interconnected cinematic universe. That's the question this whole autopsy leaves us with.